in the recent past, I've gotten a lot of flack for stating my opinion about a certain gun manufacturer. Now, I'm very accepting of most brands of guns. I'm very generous with my opinions of most brands of guns because I think most companies make some good guns. There's very few companies that just make all bad guns. Now, there are a few, but they're not really very popular, so I don't really feel the need to talk about them much. But there is one company that seems to sell a lot of guns that I think is total garbage, and so I have to tell people what I really think of them when they ask me, and that is Kel-Tec. I think Kel-Tec guns are total garbage. People will ask me, well, how can you say that? They have such a good warranty and they sell so many guns and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, you know, Bic lighters sell a lot of lighters too. Doesn't mean they're a good lighter. Just means that they're cheap and they're readily available. Now, people who watch my videos that know me know that I'm kind of handy with guns. So over the years, I've probably worked on I'd say 15 to 25, somewhere in that range, of Kel-Tecs for people, doing what's called the fluff and buff of the Kel-Tecs. Because one of the things that you'll even notice on the Kel-Tec forums is that people say, oh, they're great guns as long as you do this first. And they have a little fluff and buff process that you need to do to the gun before it's reliable. Well, to me, that's unacceptable. Because one of the reasons I find Kel-Tecs to be the biggest garbage gun out there is because I have never seen, in my personal experiences, I've never seen one, not a single one, out of all those ones I've worked on, come out of the box in a condition that I would consider acceptable for self-defense or much less concealed carry. They just aren't good out of the box. So if your main defense of them is they're good once you fix them, well, then that's not acceptable to me. In today's modern age of manufacturing, having one or two guns come out of the box that don't work is bad enough, and having all your guns need work when they come out of the box, that's just, like I said, unacceptable. Just makes them a garbage gun. That in itself makes them garbage as far as I'm concerned. It's not worth saving $100 to get a garbage gun. And also, they're not durable. People like to say, well, I've got 2,000 rounds. They're not durable. You might get lucky and get some rounds through yours. You probably had to work on it quite a bit to get it to do that. You probably won't admit it, but you probably had to, because I've never seen one that held up. I know a person who owns a range here in locally, and they ordered 6 of them for rental guns, 6 Kel-Tecs. I personally broke 3 of them the first day they got them. Didn't break them, I had them break on me. One had a trigger mechanism completely break, and where you could just pull the trigger all day long and wouldn't fire. The other one just kept locking up, wouldn't feed reliably, had magazine issues and a barrel feed ramp issue. And just got toward the magazine, the bottom plate came off the magazine. So, and the third one was the worst. It cracked clear from up where the frame rests on the slide all the way back down to the grip. Just catastrophic failure. And that's just 3 of the 6 in one day that failed with me taking them out and shooting them. So you can see where I'm not a big fan of Kel-Tecs. And I asked them a month later, I was like, how did those other ones work out? And they're like, none of them worked out. They weren't reliable enough for range rental. All they kept doing is people bringing them back with issues and blah, 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 so they just didn't work out. So, they're not durable, they're not reliable. So far, how can you say a gun is good if it's not durable and it's not reliable? Now, and people always say that, oh, they got such a great warranty though. Why would they warranty them if they're not a good gun? Well, it's the same policy of sell something and hope people never use it that a lot of products use. You may be surprised, but there are a lot of people who buy guns that never shoot them. And I'm not talking people who buy guns as collector's items, put them in the safe, who have dozens of other guns and never shoot the one they put in the safe. I'm talking people that buy them for active self-defense, who load them up once, put them in their nightstand, put them in their purse, never shoot them again. I've known lots of people that have done that, and a lot of people still do that. And Kel-Tec takes advantage of the people who are going to do that, or people that are going to load it once, take it to the range, fire 10 rounds through it, and then put it in a nightstand, or put it in a purse and never shoot it again. So, and their guns are produced so cheaply that even if they sell one and replace it once, they've still made a profit. So, and they're not going to replace most of them. Most people that buy that level of a gun aren't going to be avid shooters. Kel-Tecs are not something that appeal to most gun people. They appeal to people who want a gun but don't really care much about guns. Because if you really cared a lot about guns, it doesn't take a lot to look a Kel-Tec over and know it's a cheap product. So like I say, the warranty is taking advantage of the fact that people buy them and never shoot them. We have a lot of dealers in our local area, so there's a lot of competition between dealers. When you buy a gun from a dealer and it has a problem, it's usually between you and the manufacturer. Dealers usually will help you with that in a lot of areas. But here we have a lot of competition, so dealers do help you. If you have a problem with a gun, dealer will work as an intermediary between you and the manufacturer. They'll send the guns back, they'll help you package them up, send them back for you, things like that, just because they want to keep your business. Especially people like myself who buy a lot of guns. And I know a lot of dealers locally that have quit carrying Kel-Tecs. I know 3 dealers locally that quit carrying Kel-Tecs period, because they said the return rate was too high on them. Because up here in the Northwest, people who buy guns tend to shoot them. So they're like, the return rate was just too high, there were always too many issues, they just weren't worth the headache of the tiny, tiny little profit you made on selling them. So a lot of local dealers won't even carry them. So in the end, if people want to try to convince me Kel-Tec's a good gun, you're never going to do it. I've worked on too many of them that are junk. I've had too many of them fail in my hands. I know too many dealers who think they're junk and will never sell them. Just all that adds up to being a really low quality gun. Now, does it have its place? Yeah, it probably has its place. All cheap guns have their place. If you're just someone who's going to buy a gun and you just want to have a gun in your purse or a gun in your nightstand that will fire a few times when you absolutely need it, you're not going to go to the range, well, yeah, you're going to be able to get a magazine or 2 out of it. If you take it to the range and you fire 1 magazine successfully and it works out of the box, which is rare, or you break it in enough that it works, it's going to work the 1 time you need it, probably 2 or 3 times you need it. But if you're going to take it out and shoot it a lot, treat it like a gun that you actually use and train with, which is important to train with the gun you're going to use, Kel-Tecs are not going to be the gun for you, because Kel-Tec is, in my opinion, not a trainable weapon. It's not a reliable weapon, it's not a durable weapon, and it's not a trainable weapon. So that's why I say Kel-Tecs are garbage.